Hey there, welcome back to Occupy Democrats. And totalitarian Trump is trying to take over everything. We know this. And if you're all like me, you may want to sit down for this breaking story because you won't believe the grift he has pulled off right now. Breaking news. Because he just tried to take over the U.S. Federal Reserve, pulling some goofy lawsuit with Jerome Powell so he can have an effect on the global central bank. But since that failed, he's now turned to the Middle East. And wait for it, it's coming in a few moments. And if you'd like to see him out of the White House, just subscribe to the channel. But let's realize Trump's typical playbook, because what he does in his life all the way through, plus his presidencies, is this. First, he does the denigration here.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level.
And then he does the capitulation here.
We have a gentleman on my right who buys a lot of equipment from us, a lot of purchases in the United States. Those countries are stopping the funding of terrorism.
But in the background, there's always the encapsulation of the overview of the corruption. This.
Trump came away with a pledge from the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to invest nearly $1 trillion in the United States in deals benefiting large American companies, which is super amazing given that the entire GDP of Saudi Arabia is about $1.25 trillion. Qatar, having already promised to gift Trump a $400 million private jet, pledged billions to purchase U.S. weapons and Boeing jets, plus billions more in investment. Trump announced more than $200 billion worth of deals with the United Arab Emirates as well, and that was the publicly announced part. What went unannounced during these visits were the deepening financial ties between Trump's family business and the bureaucratic countries, these autocratic countries and their leaders. 4 Trump-branded projects are currently in development in Saudi Arabia, each of which have resulted in millions of dollars in licensing fees netted by the Trump Organization. The UAE's sovereign wealth fund used the Trump family's cryptocurrency exchange to make a $2 billion purchase. And let's not forget the plane that Qatar gifted the president.
And then, of course, Trump, when it comes to money, always finds his way back to the justification.
So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. And I think it was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped all of those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others. We keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now.
And then finally comes the adoration, this.
I just want to thank you for everything, and maybe in particular our friendship. It's been a very loyal, great, beautiful friendship.
But in this breaking story, what you ultimately have is the totalitarianism corrupt grift that you will not believe Trump just did. Can you imagine if any other president did this? The GOP would lose their mind because Trump is holding money from Venezuela that he just attacked and captured in an offshore account over in Qatar. Check this breaking story out. Wow.
Trump holding millions from Venezuelan oil deal in Qatar. President Donald Trump's administration was reportedly holding part of the proceeds from a deal made for seized Venezuelan oil in offshore accounts in Qatar. An administration official told Semaphore that the total value of the first sale of Venezuelan oil was $500 million. The move comes just days after the U.S. military conducted strikes on Venezuela and took its leader, Nicolas Maduro, into custody. Trump has said that the U.S. would run Venezuela for an indefinite period of time, including taking control of 50 million barrels of oil. The president also indicated that he would not pay back Venezuela's debts, saying the U.S. is not going to look at what people lost in the past because that was their fault. Revenue from the oil sales is currently being held in bank accounts controlled by the U.S. government, as indicated in Friday's order, according to the administration official, Semaphore reported. The main account, according to a second senior administration official, is located in Qatar. The second official described Qatar as a neutral location where money can flow freely with U.S. approval and without risk of seizure, the report added. Trump's order noted that at least some of the revenue would be held in U.S. Treasury accounts. The idea of holding money from Venezuela oil sales in foreign countries has already sparked criticism from some Democrats. There is no basis in law for a president to set up an offshore account that he controls so that he can sell assets seized by the American military, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat Minute, said recently. That is precisely a move that a corrupt politician would be attracted to.
Did you get all that? The senators and the House reps that are standing by this guy in the GOP on the right. These are some of the same people who gave Obama a hard time for wearing a beige suit. And this man just took 50 million plus and put it in an offshore U.S. account, supposedly to keep it safe? Are you kidding me? Folks, I don't even know where to finish up with this other than to understand when the midterm comes, you have to share this with everyone you know. We have got to vote all of them out as soon as possible. You guys, stay frosty.